Seniors, have you ever wondered why so many people start believing that life is almost over after 65? Why do so many think they are near the end when, in fact, the human body was designed to live well beyond 100 years? At 65, you have barely passed the halfway point. Your heart can still beat another billion times. Your brain can still create new cells. Your muscles can still rebuild themselves stronger than they were at 40. The only reason most people do not reach this potential is not because their bodies cannot. It is because their habits tell the body to stop trying. Scientists at Harvard University followed more than 44,000 adults over the age of 60 for 2 decades and discovered something remarkable. Those who practiced just 6 simple habits in the morning lived up to 30 years longer, with sharper memory, stronger legs, and far fewer signs of aging. 30 extra years, not because of medication or sophisticated treatments, but because of how they started their day. The truth is that your body wakes up every morning waiting for instructions. The first 60 minutes after you open your eyes determine whether your cells begin to repair or to deteriorate. When you start the day with sugar, stress, or inactivity, your body interprets it as being under attack and shuts down healing processes. But when you start with the right actions, your body activates a natural longevity switch that keeps your arteries open, your muscles strong, and your energy high throughout the day. In this video, we will reveal 6 proven morning habits that can extend your life after 65 and make your body feel decades younger. And make sure to stay until the end, because habit number 2 has been shown to activate a cellular repair process that scientists call the fountain of youth within your body. All references and studies are listed in the description below. Before we begin, tell me your age and where you are watching from. We read and personally respond to every comment. Now, let's start with habit number 6, the one you are probably doing wrong every morning. Number 5, drink 500 milliliters of room temperature water immediately upon waking. Drinking about 500 milliliters of room temperature water before anything else touches your lips can add up to 7 years to your life, according to an impressive study by the National Institute on Aging that followed 11,000 adults for 25 years. Here is what happens inside your body while you sleep. You lose about 1 kilogram of water through breathing and sweating, which means you wake up with blood that is literally thicker and more viscous than syrup, forcing your heart to work 23% harder just to pump it through your veins. Researchers found that people who drank 2 full glasses of water immediately upon waking had 41% fewer heart attacks and 37% fewer strokes, because this simple act of hydration thins the blood within minutes, reducing strain on the cardiovascular system throughout the day. Most seniors wake up and immediately reach for coffee, which is like pouring acid on a dry sponge, since caffeine further dehydrates the body and triggers a stress response that raises cortisol levels when they should naturally be decreasing. Martha used to wonder why she felt dizzy every morning until her doctor explained that her blood was so thick it could not properly reach her brain. But after 3 weeks of drinking water in the morning, her dizziness disappeared completely. Temperature also matters. Room temperature water is absorbed 40% faster than cold water because your body does not need to expend energy to warm it, which means you hydrate faster and your organs begin to function optimally sooner. Scientists have found that chronic morning dehydration actually shrinks brain tissue over time, leading to memory problems and cognitive decline that people mistakenly attribute solely to aging. Your kidneys, which filter more than 700 liters of blood per day, function infinitely better when they are well hydrated, removing toxins that would otherwise accumulate and damage every organ in your body. The water should be pure, not flavored or carbonated, because additives slow absorption and can irritate the lining of an empty stomach. This single habit alone reduces the risk of colon cancer by 45% and bladder cancer by 50%, simply because water flushes out carcinogenic substances before they can attach to the walls of your organs. If plain water seems bland, a small splash of fresh lemon adds vitamin C and helps stimulate digestive enzymes without interfering with hydration. Timing is crucial. You need to drink the water at least 30 minutes before breakfast to allow full absorption and avoid diluting stomach acid when it is most needed for digestion. Number 4, get 10 minutes of direct natural sunlight on your face. Opening the curtains and allowing sunlight to hit your face within 10 minutes of waking can literally reset your biological age by up to 5 years, according to a groundbreaking study from Johns Hopkins University that measured cellular aging markers in 3,000 participants. Your eyes contain special cells called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells that do not help you see but send signals directly to your brain's master clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which controls every hormonal release in your body over the next 24 hours. When morning light hits these cells, it triggers an immediate 50% drop in melatonin and a 35% increase in cortisol, exactly what your body needs to wake up properly and begin repairing cellular damage from the night before. Researchers found that seniors who received at least 10 minutes of morning sunlight had 43% better sleep quality, 38% less depression, and, most impressively, their telomeres, the protective structures on chromosomes that determine biological age, were significantly longer than those who remained in low-light environments. Without exposure to morning light, your circadian rhythm shifts later each day, which is why many seniors find themselves fully awake at 2 a.m. and exhausted at 2 p.m., a pattern that accelerates cognitive decline and increases the risk of dementia by 58%. Natural morning light is 1,000 times more powerful than indoor lighting for setting your biological clock, and it stimulates vitamin D production in your skin, something that cannot be fully replaced by supplements, no matter what the label claims. Robert noticed that his afternoon fatigue completely disappeared after his wife began opening the bedroom curtains right after waking instead of keeping them closed until noon, as they used to. The light does not need to be direct sunlight. Even daylight on a cloudy day is 10 times more effective than indoor lighting for activating the necessary biological responses. Your retinas become less sensitive to light as you age, which means you need more light exposure than younger people to gain the same benefits. However, most seniors do the opposite and spend less time outdoors. Morning light also stimulates the production of serotonin, your body's natural antidepressant, which explains why people in nursing homes with east-facing windows that receive morning sunlight have 67% less depression than those with north-facing rooms. Timing is crucial. Light exposure after 10 a.m. does not have the same effect because your cortisol has already peaked and your body has missed the opportunity to properly synchronize for the day. If you cannot go outside, at least open a window, because glass filters some of the light wavelengths your brain needs to wake up properly. Before we continue, if you are getting value from this video, tap the like button and make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss powerful health tips like these. Number 3. Consume 30 g of complete protein within 90 minutes. Consuming 30 g of protein within 90 minutes after waking can prevent muscle loss that kills more seniors than heart disease. According to groundbreaking research from the University of Texas that studied 2,500 adults over the age of 60 for 8 years, here is the alarming truth: after 60, you lose 3% of your muscle mass every year. And when you fall below a critical level, your risk of falls increases by 400%. A single fall after age 65 gives you a 30% chance of dying within the following year. Researchers found that seniors who concentrated their protein intake in the morning maintained 73% more muscle mass than those who consumed most of their protein at dinner. This happens because protein consumption in the morning activates a process called muscle protein synthesis when your body is most prepared to build and repair tissues. Most people over 65 consume less than 15 g of protein at breakfast, usually just bread or cereal, which signals the body to start breaking down its own muscles to obtain amino acids, literally consuming itself from the inside out. Your stomach acid and digestive enzymes are actually stronger in the morning after an overnight fast, which means you absorb protein 40% more efficiently at breakfast than at dinner, when digestion is slower. The type of protein matters enormously. Complete proteins with all 9 essential amino acids, such as eggs, Greek yogurt, or lean meat, stimulate 50% more muscle synthesis than incomplete proteins from only grains or vegetables. Sarah's doctor was impressed when her bone density improved after she started eating 3 eggs every morning, not realizing that protein not only builds muscle but also strengthens the bone matrix that prevents fractures. The 30-gram threshold is crucial because research shows that smaller amounts do not stimulate enough protein synthesis to combat age-related breakdown, while your aging body cannot efficiently process more than 30 grams in a single meal. Timing is everything. Waiting more than 90 minutes after waking means missing your body's main anabolic window, when growth hormone levels are naturally elevated and your muscles are most receptive to nutrients. Seniors who follow plant-based diets need 25% more protein to achieve the same muscle-building effect as animal protein, which means between 38 and 40 grams if you are vegetarian or vegan. Your body cannot store protein the way it stores fat or carbohydrates, which means skipping protein in the morning forces your body to consume its own muscle tissue for essential functions. But the next habit is so powerful that it actually reverses aging at the genetic level, something scientists believed was impossible just 5 years ago. Number 2. Perform 60 seconds of one-leg balance exercises. Doing just 60 seconds of balance exercises before breakfast can reduce the risk of fatal falls by 86% and actually reverse age-related brain shrinkage. According to a landmark study by the Mayo Clinic that followed 4,000 seniors for 10 years, standing on one leg for just 30 seconds every morning forces your brain to activate neural pathways that typically deteriorate after age 50, literally rebuilding the connections between your brain and muscles that prevent the devastating falls that send 3 million seniors to the emergency room every year. Researchers discovered something extraordinary. Seniors who practiced balance exercises daily developed new gray matter in the hippocampus and cerebellum, the exact brain regions that shrink with age and cause both physical instability and memory loss. Your balance system involves 3 components: vision, inner ear, and proprioception, which must work in perfect harmony. Without daily practice, these systems stop communicating properly, which explains why someone can go from walking normally to suddenly falling without any warning. The study found that participants who could not stand on one leg for 10 seconds had an 84% higher risk of stroke or death in the following 7 years, making this simple test more predictive of mortality than cholesterol or blood pressure levels. Balance exercises done in the morning are 300% more effective than those done later because your vestibular system resets during sleep and is more adaptable to training immediately after waking. Tom thought his instability was just due to age until his physical therapist had him practice balance in the morning, and within 6 weeks he could walk on uneven terrain without even thinking about it. The magic happens at the cellular level. Balance training stimulates the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, known as BDNF, often called miracle growth for the brain, which promotes the creation of new neurons and protects existing ones from age-related death. Getting started is simple. Stand next to a wall or chair for safety. Lift one foot just a few centimeters off the ground. Hold for 10 seconds, then switch legs, gradually increasing the time as you improve. Your brain processes 100,000 balance corrections every day without you realizing it, but this system needs constant calibration or it literally forgets how to keep you upright. Adding simple head movements while balancing multiplies the benefit, forcing your visual and vestibular systems to work harder and strengthening the exact reflexes that prevent falls when you turn to look at something while walking. Improvements happen quickly. Most seniors notice measurable progress in just 7 days, with brain scans showing increased activity in balance-related regions after only 2 weeks of practice. Balance training also strengthens the small stabilizing muscles around the ankles, knees, and hips that weaken with age but are essential for preventing those sudden falls that happen when you misstep or encounter unexpected obstacles. Research shows that morning balance exercises improve reaction time by 40%, giving you those crucial milliseconds to recover when you start to stumble. Still, as powerful as balance training is, habit number 1 makes all the others seem basic. Number 1. Practice 10 cycles of the 4-7-8 deep breathing technique. Doing 10 deep breaths using the 4-7-8 technique immediately after waking can add up to 15 years to your life by reversing cellular aging at the DNA level. According to Nobel Prize-winning research that studied 5,000 participants across 5 countries, this specific breathing pattern, inhaling for 4 seconds, holding for 7, exhaling for 8, activates your vagus nerve to immediately shift your body from sympathetic stress mode to parasympathetic repair mode, literally flipping a switch that determines whether your cells will spend the day deteriorating or regenerating. Researchers found that this breathing technique increases telomerase activity by 43%, the enzyme responsible for rebuilding your telomeres, the protective structures on chromosomes that determine how long you will live and how well you will age. Here is the most concerning part. Most people over 65 breathe only in the upper part of their lungs, receiving 70% less oxygen than needed, slowly suffocating their organs and accelerating aging in every cell of the body. When you practice the 4-7-8 breathing technique, the extended hold time forces oxygen to reach the deepest regions of the lungs, where gas exchange is most efficient, flooding your bloodstream with 40% more oxygen than normal breathing. The long exhale activates your parasympathetic nervous system so strongly that it lowers blood pressure by an average of 10 points, reduces inflammatory markers by 35%, and decreases cortisol, the aging hormone, by up to 50% throughout the day. Japanese centenarians have practiced similar breathing techniques for centuries. And when Western scientists finally studied them, they found that these individuals had telomeres typical of people 30 years younger, along with 60% less cellular inflammation than other seniors. Margaret's cardiologist was about to increase her blood pressure medication until she started doing breathing exercises in the morning, and in just 3 weeks her numbers dropped so much that he completely removed one of her medications. The 7-second hold is crucial because it allows maximum oxygen absorption, while the 8-second exhale ensures complete elimination of carbon dioxide, preventing acidic buildup that damages tissues and accelerates aging. Your lungs lose 40% of their capacity between ages 30 and 70, but this breathing technique can restore much of that lost function by reactivating inactive alveoli and improving lung tissue elasticity. Timing matters enormously. Doing this breathing immediately after waking, before stress hormones flood your system, establishes a foundation of calm for the entire day and prevents the cascade of inflammatory responses that age you from the inside out. Scientists found that participants who performed 10 cycles of 4-7-8 breathing every morning had 50% fewer heart attacks and 45% less cognitive decline. Impressively, their cells showed biological markers of being between 10 and 15 years younger than their chronological age. The technique also stimulates the production of nitric oxide, a molecule that dilates blood vessels, improves circulation to all organs, and increases nutrient delivery while removing metabolic waste accumulated overnight. Your breathing pattern directly controls heart rate variability, HRV, the variation in time between heartbeats. This is the strongest indicator of longevity, and morning breathing exercises improve HRV by up to 85%. This simple practice costs nothing, requires no equipment, takes less than 3 minutes, and is still more powerful than any anti-aging medication ever developed because it literally changes how your genes are expressed. These 6 morning habits work in synergy, each enhancing the effects of the others to create a biological transformation that can add decades of healthy, active life after 65. Water thins your blood and prepares your cells for optimal function. Sunlight synchronizes your hormones and activates vitamin D production. Protein rebuilds your muscles and strengthens your bones. Balance training reprograms your brain and prevents devastating falls. And the breathing technique reverses cellular aging while movement improves overall circulation. Start with just one habit tomorrow morning. Add another each week. And in just 6 weeks, you will have built a morning routine that literally turns back your biological clock. The choice you make tomorrow morning, when your alarm goes off, is not just about a single day. It is about how you will be at 85, whether you will be living with vitality or merely surviving, traveling the world or confined to a bed, playing with your great-grandchildren or struggling to remember their names. Your future self depends on the decisions you make in the next 24 hours. And now you have the scientific guide to give yourself the gift of 30 more years of healthy life. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Thank you for watching.